Oh, you hear that, Mark? This is Mark. That's called the temple bell. Aloha and Tashi Delay from Kauai Tibetan Buddhist Dharma Center on the island of Kauai. We present this class every week, 6 to 8, worldwide. We call it Zoom. So you're the Zoom landers. We're the Kauai landers. I'm Lama Tashi, and tonight we're going to do Tibetan Buddhist practices for meditation and training our focus. But more importantly, training our mind to imagine. We use the word visualize. And when we use this these methods of Tibetan Buddhism, which fall into what they call the Sutra tradition and the Tantra tradition, it's to bring the mind to understand that its true nature is nothing whatsoever, or like nothing whatsoever. So we say, like space. And so you'll hear that reference a lot, and space being one of the elements, we call it the mother element, is how everything exists. Because it seems to appear, and then it disappears. And what I mean by that is the universe comes out of a state of energy where there's no patterning. It's simply a complete expanse or fabric of energy with nothing appearing. And then from that format, a universe appears. And everything in the universe is based on that energy program. Then eventually it disappears. That doesn't mean it's gone. It just means it went into a different energy program. And your mind is the same way. So, for instance, when you think, thoughts appear. Where do they come from? You can't find them. When they go away, you don't know where they went. So it's a very similar energy program with the mental process of the mind. And in the human condition, we structured this program emotionally. And because of this emotionality, which has thousands and thousands of aspects, it deforms what you're sensing. The input coming in through your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your ears, your body is distorted because of the emotionality of your involvement with this out here, as if it's solid, fixed, and permanent, which it is not. It's always changing. And that aspect of the universe makes it more exciting, more interesting. Because if it was always the same, we'd go home after. We like to be entertained. But the important thing to notice about this is this light show that's out here is shared. And everything that you're connecting to is who you are. So everything in this universe is who you are. And it's easy to understand that with the word interconnected, which I'm just reading a book by one of our lineage masters, Karmapa. That's the title. And interconnectedness means this is your movie. And each and every one of us are sharing it. And each and every one of us is sane in the way we share it. In other words, through our sensual perceptions and through our thought. But how do we differ is this emotionality aspect of it. And so each of us has different tendencies. And you can see that in a family setup, how one child is completely obnoxious and the other one is very nice. And they may grow up that way. Same father, same mother, same conditioning, but two different, completely individual in their tendencies. So where do these tendencies come from? They come from previous life. It's called karma. And that makes it easy to understand karma. Because karma is an action word. And it can mean physical, it could be mental, it can be spiritual, it can be emotional. But the tendencies carry forward. They don't go away. And because of that, we have the Dharma. Because it doesn't need to be that way. In the human consciousness, we have two natures. We have the nature of awareness that we have how we are right now. And all of us are the same this way. And this nature of awareness is simply judging everything. It judges what you think, it judges what you sense, it judges your relationship, everything. So that judgment is the cause of your thoughts having emotion. And so if you want to deal with your emotional tendencies, especially the ones that cause you so much problems, especially in relationships or in involvement with the universe, then you need to know that. You need to know that if you sense something, you see something, and you judge it, you like that, it's because you judged it good. If you see something and you don't like that, that's because you judged it bad. If you see something that you think is high, it's because you believe that things are higher. If you think something's low, like low class or not nice, that's because you judge it that way. And the judgment comes from not knowing that, first of all, as I said, everything's interconnected to you. And second of all, it's illusory. This is the light show. Your body appears this way, but it's nothing but a bunch of atoms. And everything's like that. So that means if you can focus, use your imagination, you can restructure or influence what's going on out here. And that's what we do. That's what Tibetan Buddhism does. And that's called shamanism. And there's light shamanism, which comes from the heart and is interested in everybody's well-being. And then there's dark shamanism, which comes from the head, which is only interested in the self's well-being. So those are the two kinds of beings. And when we say that, we can also say, well, there's ordinary beings and there's extraordinary beings. That's the only two kinds of beings. If you think about that, and you can see that in your daily life. How come some persons, like they have circuses? How come some persons do all those tricks and other ordinary people cannot? So this extraordinariness in Tibetan Buddhism is what we call the heart connectedness of our practice. And it doesn't make you higher or better. It just allows you to renegotiate the energy program that's going on around you. And that makes it useful. That makes it practical. And practical comes from the word practice. So when we say practical, this lineage that I follow is called the Kagyu lineage of Tibetan Buddhism. it's very prolific. It has 12 different lineage masters. 4 of them are women, and they're all alive on the planet today. But what does the cognitive stress? Practice. So we're called the practice. And my involvement with it is based on that. So from 1977 to now, practice. And each of us has our own metaphor for practice. It's based on, first of all, your inclination, which is why you're here tonight, your tendency. But that means you did this before. You've done what we're learning here before. And each time you take a new birth, you have to learn it again. But the innate nature, once you've connected to that, that doesn't go away. That's the so at the end of the mantra. Now, how do you start with the refuge? That's what I was doing. That's what my teacher, Paul Rinpoche, 1977, he taught. You have to start with refuge. And he says in Tibetan Buddhism, we do prostrations with the refuge. And then you use your visualization to think that you're connecting to a support system that's already in place and has been in place for 2,600 years as your, watch your back. And you got to take care of the front. Okay, so that you're taking refuge in an already existing support system. Next, you need to do practice. So the second part of the refuge is you take refuge in that support system doing 6 basic practices. And they're easy to, they're already what we're doing, like Christmas, generosity. Only we do Christmas every day. Morality, ethics, and good manners, we simplify that by saying, don't harm yourself, don't harm others, and don't harm the environment. Then you don't have to structure a whole bunch of rules. Patience, absolutely necessary. With yourself, mostly. Because to do practice, you have to take the time and overcome all your other, I want to do this, I want to do that. Everything pulling, distraction. So patience. But also patience is very, very important. Interacting with sentient beings. Now, that's a very interesting word because it covers the entire universe as sentient. But sentient means you have senses based on consciousness. So what kind of beings are sentient? Humans, animals, and spirit. Humans and animals can only take birth on planets throughout the entire universe. Spirit, everywhere. In your body, right to the center there, as far out as the telescopes want to show us we're going, that's their world. So when you say sentient beings, infinite, can't count. Even the animals on this planet, impossible to count. In the ocean, on the land, very prolific. Humans, 7 billion, 8 billion. More coming maybe, less coming maybe, we'll see. But sentient beings. So what we want to do is take refuge for those sentient beings. Why? Because of the interconnected idea that they're all who you are. This is big. And this is also unique. So we're going to start with this sheet.
So when you take refuge, aren't you also, you're connecting by sending light out, and aren't you also asking for permission and support for the practice that you're doing? And they send light back to you.
It's more than that. Their power is plugging into you.
Okay, so
By your request, by your saying, I'm taking refuge.
that's the support.
Then those beings that are the support are not in an emotional program.
Mm-hmm.
See? So my teacher, I'll use the Dalai Lama as one of them, is outside the box. So on that basis, I'd say he was extraordinary. Why is he extraordinary? Because he's not emotionally involved. He doesn't judge, you know? And when you come around him, that lack of judgment is an energy field. And people that are like that, other than that, usually the nice. Not all, but oh, nice.
Isn't that a judgment?
Huh? Yes, because that's who we are. But see, in our mind, we have a mind of no judgment. In our same mind, we have the judgment mind. That's called the relative. But in our consciousness also exists non-judgmental mind. Now this one, you can't fathom that. That doesn't, you can't conceptualize that. Because we're not that. See? It's a learned experience, lifetime to lifetime. But once the true nature is realized, that even the judgment call doesn't have to be dealt with. That realization is called enlightenment, which means your mind and the universe are together, completely in harmony. And then you're extraordinary. Then you're what we call Buddha. Then you're a mature human being. And only humans can do this. The animals, like Mochi, he always comes to class. Hi, Mochi. And spirits, they can't do this. Highest celestial realms, the gods and goddesses, they can't do this. We call them arrogant gods. Even in forms of Buddhism, we have this problem. Okay? So when we say sentient, and sentient with awareness of its relative nature and its natural mind, both together, then that person can be a perfect mother to all the other mothers. And it can be, women are better at this because you're obviously in charge of bringing us humans into the world. My mother never let me forget that, even though I was raised Catholic. He says, I made you. Don't let anybody ever tell you different. And so that's where the elements come in. This is where the element natures that we use with the 5 elements are so powerful and work so easy. So I'm making this explanation because understanding goes to intuitive awareness. You know, you can know everything. But being too smart, too intelligent sometimes is not good. You can see that with our world leader. Okay? All of the classes of world, all of the religions, all of the social programs, all of the politics, all of the military, all of the corporations, totally against it. And that's for us not a good idea. So here we are. We're going to take refuge. Oh, and this refuge is actually our own true nature. This is, we say, heart connected, kindness, like the mother through the children. Like that. Okay, so that's the first order. And we're going to read this in Tibetan because I have to communicate it. We communicate it to the spirits through the Sanskrit. We say it in our own language so we can communicate it to our children and other people we have relationships with. In order to attain enlightenment for ourselves and limitless sentient beings, our mothers, we now all together take refuge and offer prostration. You saw me do the prostration. That's part of the program. Picture. We go for refuge to all glorious holy lamas. We go for refuge to all the items throughout the deities gathered in the mandala. We go for refuge to all the Buddhas, those who have conquered mind and gone beyond. We
We go for refuge to all the supreme Dharma. We go for refuge to all the noble Sangha. We go for refuge to all the Dakas that lead,
who are the protectors and defenders of the Dharma.
all of these possessing the eye of transcending awareness. To the Buddha,
To the Buddha, Dharma, and this Supreme Assembly,
we
go for refuge until enlightenment. May I, to merit gain from practicing the 6 disciplines, accomplish Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. I'm going to chant the first altruistic motivation in Sanskrit. Then we'll say the second part, the refuge prayer, together, where it's all in one. Dagdang Jovanam Te Tadang Yam Te Sem Chan Tam Che Judine Junte Jisi Janshu Ningpo Tachi Pi Bardu Alden Lama Dampa Nam Lama Chatsu Shi Yedam Shokor Hi Lasso Nam Lama Chatsu Dampe Shur Nam Lama Chatsu Shio Dampe Gendu Nam Lama Chatsu Shio Kao Kandro Shokyum Shumme Sho Yeshe Ki Shendam Kemba Nam Lam Chatsu Shio Sanjay Chodam Shoki Chodam Changshu Badu Dagdi Chatsu Shi Dagi Jinso Jibe Sonam Dora Ensher Sanjay Jubam Refuge. The second prayer of bodhicitta is, what do you do? Generosity, morality, patience, perseverance, meditative focus, which is what this class is mostly about, and intentionally connecting to the other nature of your heart mind, which, based on loving kindness and compassion, is simply like putting your hands together. This energy on both the relative and ultimate to everybody else. It's called puja in Sanskrit. So puja means universal offering. So everything we do in Tibetan Buddhism, all the sutras, all the tantric practices, all the teachings on the nature of mind, is for everybody else. And our environment. Because our environment is a living being. Okay? Yeah. We're not taking too good care of it. So, this starts your practice. It is the theme of all your practice. But most importantly, this altruistic motivation. This is unique in this tradition. And I practice Hinduism and Sufism, American Indianism, and Hawaiianism and Catholicism and all the isms. Okay. I never saw that one. But this is very, very important because even though sentient beings are infinite in number and all of them originated from the human condition, they all have to come back into the human condition. And try it again. Okay. So that's that. Refuge. This is called a refuge tree. And it's got a bunch of beings hanging in the branches of this tree. These are the branches. Then down here, the trunk of the tree is coming up out of the ocean of sentient beings. And around this large ocean are extraordinary beings that are interested in the well-being of these sentient beings. And they're using this support system to do that. So here's you right here doing prostration. Then in the ocean, you can see animals, what they depict as spirits, and around the lake, human. But what is this tree? What are the Tibetan? Every lineage has their own refuge, but this symbol means all the lamas of all of the lineages are hanging in the branches like a bunch of crows. Okay? And in the very center is the root lama. That's any lama that gives you instruction on how to use these methods to gain insight into your own true heart nature. That's called Vajradhara. But that's really your true nature. So that's number one. Behind the tree, sticking out on both sides, are the Dharma methods that they made into writing, into sutras. Those are to train a certain class of human beings that can learn that way. Okay? And that's the way I started. Then here are all what they call the peaceful deity symbols, which are simply extensions so that you can get out of your head and into your heart center as a habit instead of the other way around. Okay? So that, tonight we're going to use one of these, and it's Chenrezig, and I'll get into that in a minute. And over on this side, you have all the people that used all this to gain maturity. Those are called Buddhas. This is a symbol of a Buddha. Okay? Buddhas have 5 apps. All the Buddhas have 5 apps. They're not separable. They're in your true nature. And one of them is the first one that I already explained, is interconnectedness. So it's a big universe, one verse. Really. That's number one. That's an energy field. The second energy field is the field of how to apply that. It's called the action energy field, which we're learning from these lamas. The third one is your true nature is based on clarity. Clarity means free of judgment, free of emotional content when you do something. Okay, so the training, as you'll see tonight, helps you to accomplish that. The fourth is equanimity. We level the playing field. Nobody's higher and lower. There's no such thing as supernatural. There's no such thing as less. Equal. That's a hard one. Because there's some pretty freaky beings there. And nature itself is pretty wild already, too. It has its own. And the fifth one is called discerning, that your natural mind, clear of emotionality, is infinitely more practical than the dominant, the called monkey mind, which all of us, that's the way we're doing it right now. Where do you start with it? Where you are. And everybody, when it comes to that, then the Lama has to say, maybe this practice is not so good for you, maybe so. Okay. But that's the Lama input. All the teachers do is make themselves available. We're not pushing it. You know, yeah, we set up these dharma centers everywhere on the planet. Okay. And some of them are pretty nice, like the Roman Grand Prix. Unbelievable. Frankly, Rinpoche is nice. I've never seen anything like it. But that was a woman caused it. Chinese woman. She comes along and Rinpoche wished you were pretty well, and he says, "Did you out with? You need to establish your own Grand Prix." She said, "Well, what do you want to do?" She said, "Well, I got all these months that I'm in charge of, and I want to take care of them." She said, "Well, I have plenty of job. How much do you want?" I want to build a monastery with the land. She said, "Well, $21 million for it." That's how that happened. And that row of all those temples and everything, we live way down the end of that one. Stayed in the house. We drive down the street, we're running up to the end. We get to the last one. going to be monastery. But high energy, tested everything. Even an elevator, because he's old, getting up to the room. One on each side. You walk out of the side room back there, you don't have to go up the steps. Anyway, so when you use this, the 6 refuges are all the teachers, all of the sutras, which are the books, all of the symbols of the heart, all of the matured Buddhists, which some exist now, there's a few on the planet, and all of the protectors. Now, the protectors is the hardest to understand because it's an aspect of your practice. And you kind of evolve into it by taking refuge and then doing the practice. Where you get to a point where you accept that you are totally responsible for everything and everything. Like a mother for her only child. That's a protector. Okay, that's a really nice way to be. Beyond that, there's nothing more to accomplish. And they call that protector is the activity of this making oneself available to establish the Dharma as a healing program for everyone. Available to everyone. Okay. And down here are the 6 classes of human beings, animals, humans, and 4 kinds of spirits. Now when we say 4 kinds of spirits, they came from us. They emotionally decided to do that. So it's like religion. If you decide to be a Christian and have good karma, follow the program, you have a very good chance of evolving into a celestial birth next time. But the problem with religions is the arrogance of being in religion. Like myself, I have to watch continually because I can do things other people can't do. That doesn't make me better, but I have this tendency to, oh, I'm so great. You gotta watch that. Okay, so then, yeah.
Who's up on the top, on the right and left?
The individual doing the practice.
Oh, okay.
So where are you going? This is your root teacher and all the support. This is called the support. Here, down here is all of us humans doing the practice with this support. But every one of these humans is already a Buddha. It's just that we are not accepting that other aspect of our consciousness, which brings us to full maturity. Here we've evolved over thousands and thousands of years on this planet. Right? Survive. By using the elemental energies of the planet and our various social programs. So we've managed to survive up till now. But the maturity was never reached. That's why we have so much problem. This is a planet of war. War on ourselves, war on each other, and war on the environment. And it's just a lack of a peaceful nature. You know? It's just a lack of uncontrolled emotionality. That's it. Each of us can do this. Now, once this is established, it stays in place. That doesn't mean you're going to go to hell. But it does mean you're not going to go to hell. There's a point there where you don't regress into the animal world, or deprived spirits, or what we call the psycho spirit, where the war and war god reigns, and even heaven. Okay, heaven is us Hawaiian from Las Vegas. You can go there, but you gotta come back. Temporary. I'm explaining this because this is understanding. Now, to practice. What are we training? Well, mind I already mentioned. Mind is the body. So we use this sphere, which spheres indicate universality, is the mind. Then the body, we use a white sphere. So the patterning and the breath, energy, speech, all of that, red sphere. So we have our body, speech, and mind. We train the mind so that the body and speech follow that program. Okay, so mind is the body. Where are we going with this? Is to bring them into a state of unity without judgment. So that's this clear sphere. These three are the support. If you understand that, it makes everything that we do simple. See, that's my job, is to take all of this voluminous information of the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, and Hinduism, and all these other things, condense it down to practical, simple to understand. And people should be able to ask questions and use your intelligence. You're heart connected. You have the inclination, you have the ability, you have the leisure time, and you have the support. And nobody else does. So don't be up. You can think that way. Because then that all those nobody else's is where you're going with it. In time, they all have to come to maturity. And since they're not separate from us, maybe we can't take care of them real well this life, but next life. Oh, hi. You were my mom last life. I see how you are. Now you're real. You never know. And the spirit world is the same way. What do we do with the spirits? We feed them. Yeah. Yeah, we give them water and food, whatever they want. Fire, we use fire. We use these elemental energies. Yes, they exist, but they don't exist on the same energy program that we do. But they can take the essence of the energies in this dimension into their dimension, and they can see into this dimension. And some of us can see into their dimension. And that gets pretty wild. Tricky. Okay, so let's prepare to do one of the 5 elemental meditations. And the first thing we're going to do is bring our body, speech, and mind into one place. So sit with your back straight. But be comfortable. That's what's important. You know, people sit on cushions, but the pain is driving them crazy. I don't think that's a good idea. I can't do that. My legs just won't take it. Okay, so back straight. First position, first movement. Head slightly tilted forward. Line up the energy centers of the head with the energy centers within the body. Hands in a comfortable position, either on the knees or in the lap. Your choice. Mouth closed with the tongue resting against the palate. And your eyes, soften your gaze. In other words, close your eyes about halfway. Bring the lids down about halfway. And just watch 2 feet in front of your eye. This space energy program. So that the metaphor of that is coming into your practice. Then bring your focus to your breath. And to start with, just watch the breath in conjunction with your diaphragm. So you inhale, diaphragm expand. Exhale, diaphragm contract. Gently, naturally, breathe. Then, using the breath in conjunction with your imagination is the next step. It's called the three lights meditation practice, or prana yoga practice. To do that, inhale, imagine the light coming in as white light filling your lungs. The absorption breath, the middle breath, you visualize as the energy pervading every cell in your body as red light flashing through your form. Then the exhale is a combination of these two as blue light out the nose to space. Inhale, white light, fill your lungs. Absorption breath, red light through the body. Exhale, blue light to space. This is called the healing breath. When you feel yourself start to settle and withdraw from the preoccupation with the worldly daily activities, take your focus off the breath and collect the three lights into one tiny particle in the center of your chest, creating a chakra, an energy center. And using this technique, you are connecting to the boundless light throughout the fabric of space. You're referencing this particle as similar to an atom, which exists, but exists in the energy field of the universe as radiation, light. Then from this dimension, using your imagination, visualize the particle to expand into a small sphere of clear light, right in the center of your chest. Keeping your focus and imagination together, expand that sphere until it starts to form into one of the five elements we're going to use for this healing practice. So tonight we'll use the pyramid. So each of the elements has their own symbol, but this meditation practice uses each element exactly the same method. But when using a particular element, like we're using the fire or radiation, we're stressing that for healing purposes, which is what is all modalities do that. Okay? And it can be about the size of your thumbnail. Keep it small in the center of your heart chakra. Then with your imagination, see it move out in front of your chest and up before your eyes, 2 feet in front. The space and light where you started your practice. You're labeling this red symbol fire, radiation. Then with your imagination, expand it inside so you can see your physical body just as you are inside. Then this radiant symbol of light, expand it inside so it completely encloses this island of quiet, or the area where you live, town, city, neighborhood, you choose. Next, expand it in size to completely enclose Mother Earth, including her atmosphere. And the idea is the full effect of its healing energy available to all the sentient beings within these areas. Expanded in size to completely enclose the solar system, billions of miles in diameter. Visualize it to expand to completely enclose our spiral dish-shaped galaxy. And then go beyond your conceptual mind, merging the energy of this with boundless space. And since it can't be visualized, simply relax and absorb the energy of the life force of this dimension of being. Then again, return with your focus and imagination together and recreate this red pyramid of light symbol enclosing the galaxy. Then shrink it in size to just enclosing our solar system. Again, very much smaller to just enclosing Mother Earth. Then this island of quiet, or the area where you live inside. And tinier till again you can see your forms just as you are, comfortably sitting inside this life support, psychic energy healing symbol. And to end your practice, bring it in front of your eyes, 2 feet out, arm's length in front, and to chest level and into your heart chakra. Shrink it in size to the small clear light sphere. And the process, keep the process going until you again access space with the particle. And relax. No meditation, simply stay present. This increases your ability, your capacity of the spatial effect, specifically for your mental well-being. Then bring your awareness out to in front of your eyes and expand it to your place of practice to finish the practice. That's it. So longer itching. That's it. Radiation. Air, gas, comes in many forms. Like when we see a supernova, what's left in space, they call it gas. Here on planet Earth, it's what keeps us alive, air. So this half sphere, by the way, these were printed by a 3D printer by one of our students. Tripping, huh? Out of nothing, something. Space, a white sphere. Water, a blue sphere. And Earth, a six-sided yellow or gold cube. They arise sequentially at birth, and they disappear sequentially when leaving the body. There is no such thing as death. Okay? So throw that concept away. Believe, not believe, doesn't matter. But death is an aspect of the elements recollecting into their natural position. And we give these elements the mother principle. So the space element is the ultimate mother principle. It simply allows these other four to take place. And when you come into your body in your mother's womb, the first thing she's doing is space. She's offering a space, right, in the body. And the second thing is she's bringing in her own prana, her own breath, energy, the air. Then warmth. Then water. and finally the earth, the nutrient. All of these happening in sequence. And finally, after 3 months, something starts to appear that has a brain, a heart, and genitals. 3 months. This is going on. But all that's going on is the mother is generating these 5 nutrients according to the program of the natural world to produce a human being. And that human being is not a human being until it has a brain, a heart, and genitals. Otherwise, trouble comes. Now, that method goes in reverse when your body starts to wear out. Okay? And when it starts to wear out, you can tell what's going on because, first of all, you can't eat. That's the earth element. Disappearing into the water element. Dissolving. And then you can't drink. You can wet your lips really, but you can't drink. That's second. That's the water element going into the fire element. The third one is you can't control your body temperature. Hot, cold, whatever. Really weird. That's the fire element going into the air element. And finally, all these elements disappear into the space element. Just like we did in this practice. So what is the practicality of the 5 elements practice? It teaches you where you're going and how to relax because this is the way everything works. And everything in this universe is composed of these 5 elements. Everything that appears. The dark energy of the universe, which is 95 to 100%, 99%, has another function. It's to stabilize, it's to hold, it's to position, okay, by gravity or whatever other name. So the dark energy, that's another program. But we're working with the light energy. And that's where the word light and lightning comes. The second aspect of this is to get you out of your head and into your heart chakra. So whatever you're doing is coming from this energy center. And once that's established, then you can move it up to your throat chakra, which is a natural. That's where the air comes out and makes speech. So this patterning starts to change what you say. You can move it into this energy center. So this is how your body kind of uses everything. All right? This is your earth element. And then the sex element, sex chakra, well, this is where a lot of good stuff goes on. We call it the bliss chakra. We wouldn't be here without this one. And then finally back into the head chakra, so that we're using the water control system of this brain to energize completely all these centers which are functioning, whether we're aware of them or not, with awareness. And that changes the program, whether it be relative or ultimate. Without awareness, you're stupid. It just comes down to it. You know, we have stupidity, we have bewilderment, we have ignorance, you know, all different forms. But it's all based on laziness. That's what. Dysfunction. Not interested in your own well-being and the well-being of everybody else. So it starts with you. It starts with you. And we have fun with it, don't we? Okay. We're over 30. Lyra, my daughter, says, when you're over 30, you're old. So we're over 30. But that doesn't mean you have to be, you know, unaware and dysfunctional. No, not at all. In fact, just the opposite. The older you get, it should get easier. Yeah, and more peaceful. And what you did, gone. Get used to it. Every thought you have, as soon as you think it is in the past, that means it doesn't exist. before something even registers as a thought, it doesn't exist. Because you've already programmed yourself to determine it's going to be a certain way. Oh, I like this and I don't like that. Already you've programmed. That's where the trouble is. Because it distorts you. You know? So how do you overcome that? Well, you can have a near-death experience. That's very helpful. Or a serious accident. I've had. I smashed my arm. Okay? Or you can use psychotropic drugs. They're pretty good teachers. Or how about extreme physical exercise? Get in the zone, you know. That's how they can, one of my students can run 50 miles. I can't even run to the corner. How do you do that? Oh, you taught me. The zone. That's what he calls it. The zone. Yeah. There's nobody there. But we're going to do it the easy way. Any questions about this 5 elements? This is available to everybody. This is the way the human race survived up until this, what we call industrial age. And now we've made it even worse with the electronic toy. The worst being TV, which I went through that one. Then computers, cell phones, and now we have these little boxes you put in front of your eye. Hook it into your computer, you can program what you want to experience. You seen that?
Virtual reality.
Yeah. What you're doing with these toys, with all of this stuff, is you're distorting the reality of the way it really is. And not only that, you're putting your emotional program in play. I like this. They think that I'm real. Hi, Zoomers. But I'm not. I'm just a two-dimensional program. I mean, someday it'll be 3D, but even then, it's an illusory projection.
Dots of light.
Yeah. It's very colorful, so it's very attractive. But the idea I'm trying to get across here is simply distraction. And then taking your ignorance of your own emotionality and projecting to somebody else in a way you want them to see it, like Facebook. And then you can take all this electronic stuff and shape it however you want. What's it called? Playbook? No. When you change the photograph.
Photoshop.
Yeah, Photoshop. Unbelievable. Well, you can do that with your imagination. That's how these statues were made. They make, the Buddha didn't say to do this. No, these statues we make so you can visualize how to be a nothing. Tara, when you visualize yourself as Tara, which is an aspect of the elemental energy, you visualize yourself as a hologram, just like that thing you put on to distort reality. It's a teaching program. If we say 1,000-armed Chenrezig, well, 1,000-armed means he has 1,000 different methods, right? All those heads means he has 3 heads watching the lower realms, 3 heads watching our world, and 3 heads watching the heavenly world. But those 3 heads are your body, speech, and mind. That's what they mean. So that's all symbolism. Then you get up to that funny-looking wild thing head, that's the protector head, which is like the nastiest thing the Catholic Church come up with, they call the devil. Okay? But this one is showing anger. And that's what this Buddha is. Why anger? Because that's the worst of all human afflictions, but it's the most powerful. Way more than lust, which got us all on the planet. Desire. Anger marks the mind in a really bad way. It's hard to get rid of. And when anybody comes into that energy field, they better run. You know, animals, human spirits, because it's an all-pervasive aspect. It inflames the brain. They have pictures of what anger does to the brain when they do this neurosurgery stuff. But in any case, the very top edge is simply all of that as a mature human being. And how is the mature human being practical? Because yes, it has power. But with that power, it has insight on what power really is and how to use it. And it has compassion, which means the power and the insight are for everybody else's well-being. Otherwise, war. Okay, lack of peace, ability to relax. Then anxiety, then depression, then fear. 84,000 right now. 84,000 afflictions of the emotionality. But what we want to do is take it down to the simplicity of body, speech, and mind in a category that we can understand how the universe really is and be okay with it. Like the Dalai Lama, Mr. Smiley, okay, which I was fortunate enough to spend 4 days with in Hollywood, California. Now, take the energy of this in a compassionate form, which goes with the power and the insight. We use the deity Chenrezig. Now, Chenrezig looks like that. But look around Chenrezig, what is the energy field that's going on. Okay, so it's got other sentient beings, other symbol deities in the picture. But at the very top, here's you. Where are you going with this? You're going to be completely in harmony with the universe and everybody in it. Oh, that's good. Wouldn't you say that's a good idea? Yeah. So keep that idea in mind. But when you're this deity, he's doing this. I'm flexing my muscle. I have a great muscle. You saw me carrying it.
I did, you're so strong.
Anyway, so this hand he's holding compassion, a lotus. This hand is showing the power of practice, okay, which is a vajra, okay, or a mala. Now this is just a counter. This is a symbol of the 5 elements, these 5 elements in union with 5 states of extraordinary awareness. That is your natural mind. That means without emotionality. These are called the 5 acts. These and these have to work together. And this is you, whatever you are, in the middle. These two working in union. Okay? This means indestructible. This is a ritual tool used to work with spirit. Then we take that same 5 elements, 5 states of awareness as one thing, and put it into the vibratory energy of everything. Because everything vibrates. Everything has its own signature. Okay? And we call that the patterning. And it's always changing. Which, if you, as I said before, have some experiences, sometimes you can see the pattern, like when you're at the ocean, or in extreme weather, or maybe you're out doing some extreme sport. But all of a sudden, everything starts to shift. And it's really weird. It's like what happens in dreams. What you're seeing is the actual energy program as it really is. And it's psychedelic. We call it tripping. Okay? So some of us are tripping all the time. I actually, it's just a habit. But you don't have to do that. It's just pointing out. You pointing out to you. that everything is not exactly solid, fixed, and permanent. And you learn to relax. Like I had to come to Hawaii to sailing from Panama to Hilo. So I had to sail 5,000 miles to get here. But stupid me and my crew, we did it in the summertime. The summertime in the Pacific Ocean is a big no-no because it's hurricanes. So by the time we got to Hilo, we were very nicely washed to a hurricane. It's like being in a washing machine. That's the best description of the hurricane. There's not a thing you can do about it. And you know you're going to die every minute. And so you just relax. For weeks. Okay, so that's my training program. By the time I got to Hawaii, I was like, oh, this looks like heaven to me. So this Mala, this one of my students named this one. Thank you very much for putting it back. It decided to shatter when I was in Honolulu with my teacher. 2-day retreat. And I was in the bookstore, and I'm making a gesture with this. One of my friends would want to know something about it, and it blew apart. I wasn't even using it. I wasn't even going on my thing. Just bees, whatever. Then you say it's auspicious. Did you read that? Something?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
That when they break while you're practicing and the beads go all over in every direction.
Well, that's what they do.
Yeah, it's an explosive, auspicious moment.
It took a bunch of us to find it. But this is used for counting. And when we do a mantra, one beat. So when I teach this practice, we're going to say, Om Mani Padme Hum. In India, they say, Om Mani Padme Hum. Okay, so Indian Sanskrit, Tibetan Sanskrit, a little different. But Padme or Pema means lotus. It means the female energy. Om, the first mantra, clarity, the life force of the energy. Universe coming in, support, keeps you alive. That way. Then Mani means jewel. That's the male aspect, the method. How are you going to use this female energy person, which is the life force in action? So Om Mani Padme Hum means Om, Mother, Father, all sentient beings healed. Hum. Then those 6 syllables also apply to the 6 kinds of sentient beings. So Om applies to the celestial beings. Ma, to the war gods, they call demigod spirit. Pe, human. Ni, animal. Om, Mani, Padme, deprived spirits. Hum, psycho spirit. Hell's not a good word. Even though the Tibetans say there's 18 different kinds of hell. They nailed that one too. But it just means psychotic, very disturbed, angry, abusive. That's their tendency. So when you say Om Mani Padme Hum, you're saying, I want all those 6 classes of beings Buddha, mature. Oh. So this mantra is the basis of all of the 1,000 sadhanas, which is what those 1,000 arms that we use in Tibetan Buddhism. So it's tantric. It's called Vajrayana Buddhism. And it stems from this element and this element working together. So how things are naturally in space appearing. You with me? Inside your mind and out here. But when you become this element, you want to connect to the support system and to already being mature. So this is the sound of the deity's creation sound connecting to the support of what this stands for. So all the lamas, all the deities, all the protectors is this sound. And you sent it, you put this tree in your heart center, then you visualize it going out to the lamas, your teachers, and then all of their symbols as being around you in space, or if you're doing prostrations, you use the refuge tree. That's a special symbol. And when you do that, then they take that light offering and from their heart center send it back into this vibratory sound in your heart center, which is visualized with a 5-color sphere around. Okay, so all of that's going on inside here. Then, as soon as that light comes back in, you become this deity. The 2 arm, that's 1,000 arms. But we break it down to actually 4 arms, because we got 2 arms in front of the heart like this. Okay? Now, why do I explain this? Is because all of the sadhanas, all of these practices, from this point on, start with the seed syllable in the heart and connect, as I said before, to the support system and come back. Then you as the deity. Now, once you're the deity, then you do what you do anyway. You project it to your mother, the one who made you. And she's visualized right in front of you, but you change her into this holographic form, which you're now becoming. This we call bodhisattva. And then you project it to your father and mother, relatives, friends, whoever you have karma with. Animals like Ringo, Ringo's Chenrezig, lots of heavy. Then you project it to the whole human race and you build a mandala. Once you start to do this, you're actualizing the nature of the universe around you as light energy. Because it's only your imagination that's creating it. And these substitutes, these symbols are substitutes to get you used to it. Once you get used to it, you getting used to you, that's it. Then the mind just goes, good, bad, high, low, situation. I lived in Miami Beach too long. All right, so now we start. Any questions? This is highest tantric yoga. This is relative training, getting you ready for this Vajrayana stuff, for that Buddhist shamanism. This is direct. Now you're going direct. Okay? There's 4 ways to get to the top of the mountain. Walk, drive, fly, or levitate. So, your choice. You want it slow and easy, then you use that method. You want to go faster, and so forth. Back straight, eyes in front. Start with the 3 lights breath, just like you did before. Inhale white light, fill your lungs. That lightens up this whole part of your system. Absorption breath, you visualize the energy of that, the elements blazing through your body as red light. Both together out the nose is the healing breath. Visualize blue light to space, available to everyone. Once you've settled into a state of calm, abiding, become peaceful, take your focus off the breath like you did before and collect the three lights into your heart chakra. Then relax for a few moments in space. Let the particles symbolize. Then focus again on the particle in your heart center and expand it to a small sphere. Expand that sphere to a 5-color sphere. And inside, see the sound tree. Which looks like a tilted 5 with a hook over it and a slash under it. It's red colored and it's 3-dimensional, so give it thickness. Then visualize your root lama, your teacher, representing all of the aspects of all the teachers and all of their symbols in front of you. And visualize from the forehead of that lama, white light comes into your head. This is to energize the body and help with the meditation that this symbol that you're going to use is nothing but light, holographic. Then visualize red light from the lama's throat, the teacher in front, into your throat, that the power of this pervades your speech. And then visualize blue light from the lama's heart chakra in front into your heart chakra as the support for your mind, so that the clarity, together with the knowledge of how to use that clarity, arises as your wisdom nature, your natural state. Then return to your breath. Keep that all in place and return to your breath. With the inhale of the white light to your lungs, hear the sound Om. With the red light pervading your body, hear the sound Ah. And with the blue light energy exhaled to space, hear the sound Boom. Then bring these three lights into the tree in your heart center. And again visualize the Lama in front, but now three lights shining simultaneously into your three places. The white light to the head, the red light to your throat, and the blue light to your heart center, all like an initiation, like a powerful support. Not just a permission, but a seal Then the Lama in front, together with all of the aspects, all of the methods, everything that you're taking refuge in, dissolves into you, and the three lights appear within the central channel of light, which runs from the top of your head down through the energy centers to the bottom of your torso. And those three lights now register within you. The white spear marked with the Om in the center of your head. The red Ah spear in your throat. And the blue Hum spear of the healing energy of wisdom in your heart chakra. This is the initiation, the support for this deity yoga. It's called an empowerment. It's an empowerment by the teacher, but it's also a self-empowerment by you using your imagination to receive it. Then the Shri in your heart is the creation sound of the mandala of this deity called Chenrezig, which in Sanskrit in India was Avalokiteshvara. And Chenrezig is the basis of Tantric yoga of all the deity and methods of the Tibetan transition. So now you become Chenrezig. The three lights in place and the Shri in your heart center. You as the deity as a hologram, where your ordinary body is replaced with this Bodhisattva symbol. 4 arms, young, healthy, male aspect, smiling. 3 eyes. The 5-jewel crown of the 5 Dhyana Buddha symbol on the head. Legs in full lotus, indicating discipline. And sitting on a moon disk, a sun disk, which are symbols of how this lightens the darkness of the world, of the mind. And on an 8-petal lotus, symbolizing the elements, how they manifest beauty. Now this symbolism is to show you that you can not only use your imagination and focus together, but you can imagine you to be already an extraordinary being. Then, once you can see this clearly, project it to your mother sitting in front as the same symbol. Then to father and all your relatives, friends, lovers, everybody you have karma with this life. Pets, and so forth. Then build your mandala in your mind by generating and projecting this symbol to all the humans on the planet. Then expand your mandala outward and add all of the animals in the ocean and on the land as Chenrezig. And finally, fill your mind with this symbolic representation as all of the 4 spirit worlds filling space as this Bodhisattva symbol, deity. Once you've constructed in your mind this mandala, you as a deity, with the Shri in your heart center, the mantra manifests. And those 6 syllables appear in a clockwise circle around the Shri inside the 5-color sphere in your heart chakra, with the Om in front and clockwise, Ma, Ni, Pe, Ni, Om. Om, Ma, Ni, Pe, Ni, Om. Say that. Om, Ma, Ni, Pe, Ni, Om. 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 Shri. So this Shri sums it up. This Shri is the starting point and the end. So the Shri symbolizes the clear nature of your mind without emotionality. And what we are doing is we're moving our awareness of how we are emotionally right now into a state of not being aware that way. So this emotional awareness is changing into an emotional free state of awareness, which is the nature of the universe. The universe does not function emotionally. It's simply a life support system in place so that sentient beings can appear. Us. That's it. Om, Om, Ni, Pe, Ni, Om. Om, Ma, 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 Pe, Om. Shri. So you're back to the Shri. Now what is going on is the Shri together with the mantra are energizing this part of your body and spreading that through every nadi, which is called the energy channels of the body, outward until they escape the body as healing energy, like the sun's energy goes to space. You're just making the energy of what you're doing here, not only for your physical situation, to reprogram the patterning you put there with all your emotional dysfunction. Lighten up the body. So that's the function of the Shri and the mantra to start with. Then, outside of yourself as Chenrezig, and all mother sentient beings filling space, doing exactly the same thing you are. So that is the mandala. In its simplicity, they're all Chenrezig, you're Chenrezig. The mantra purifies your speech, makes it more powerful. The patterning of the Shri changes the energy within the body, and all of the outer support is part of the program. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Free. Now, this mantra, those symbols are arranged facing outward. So the imagination ability is increasing the more you conceive. You don't have to see all of it. Any part of this Chenrezig practice, whether it be the Shri, mantra, you as the deity, mother or deity, some specific friend, relative, or pet, the deity, that's the practice. And more as you practice and sound the mantra, your imagination starts to purify, starts to activate, but in a whole new modality. Now, the Om is for the gods and goddesses, and all their arrogance comes up with an antidote. And the antidote is simply equality. They think they're so superior. You can see it when the movie started. I spent some time at home. But anyway, so like that. So that's transformed. That doesn't mean their arrogance is going to go away. It means that the energy of it, now they're better. Happier is a better word. Then the war god realms, the Ma changes the energy of that vicious cycle based on jealousy into making everything auspicious. I mean, suitable for us humans to come to maturity. That's what the universe is. The universe is perfect. So we want to be equal. Then there are 5 elements. No problem. What you eat, 5 elements. What you breathe, 5 elements. What you see, smell, taste, touch, 5 elements. What you think, 5 elements. Even the emotions. See, now we're dealing with the emotions. That's the beauty of Tibetan Buddhism. They recognize these emotions as dysfunctional, but they recognize also that every emotional program carries its own antidote because they're so powerful. Yeah. Now, for us humans, we're very needy, aren't we? So we need all 5. But that one, that's the need. So the Om is for the celestials, the Ma is for the war gods, transform their energy.
Are you going to say the colors?
Oh yeah, yellow is the Om. When we get to that part, and that's another part of using your imagination. You think when you say Om, then that goes to that yellow light of the mantra. The whole mantra goes to that realm. If you think the color code of the war god, that's green. Green is jealousy. Right? Green is jealousy. That means it goes to them and they become all bodhisattvas, auspicious beings. In the human realm, all our desire, lust, all of that transformed into what? White light of clarity, or the blue light of healing. So we'll say the blue light. And the white light is for the animal. They're stupid. That doesn't mean they're stupid intelligently. It's just that animal has to be that animal. We can change. They cannot. Get that? An ant has to be an ant. Can never become real life till it gets back into the human condition. Like Ringo. Ringo's going to come back as a woman. But very extraordinary. He knows it. Don't you? So that's white light is all the animals now become very intelligent, equal to us. That's Chenrezig. Then we get to the greed problem. We have what we call deprived spirits. That's the word hungry ghosts. That's only one category. So these deprived spirits, then we say red light. Red light is the discerning that without emotionality, we're free. Okay? More and more, you're changing your awareness into that aspect of your being. It's innate. That's how some people are so good, kind, and considerate. Because they have that. They know. They might not believe karma. They know. Then anger, hell realm, hatred, rage, abuse, intentional abuse. All of these factors, we change that with the dark blue light, we call navy blue or black light, into unity. We're all in this together. And therefore we are all everybody else's support. So that's what you're generating with this mantra. Om, Ma, Ni, Pe, Ni, Om. When you like the colors, gold, green, blue, white, red, black, navy blue. I like navy blue better than black. Or brunettes are okay. Here we go. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Mani Padme And when large groups of Tibetans get together, for instance, when the Dalai Lama gives teaching for this practice, empowerment, they chant this way. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum.
Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum.
And sum it all up. And see the light when you breathe as the nature of your natural heart mind. The energy of compassion, power, insight, and all perfect human qualities working together. Now this energy field is the energy field of Amitabha Buddha. Now so we have these 5 aspects of wisdom. But for us, we need to break them down as apps, like on our cell phone. So discerning awareness is the free. Discerning that your heart mind is better than this one. That's it. That makes you extraordinary. If you choose that, and everything you say, think, and do is based on that, then this is taking over. This one starts to lose its energetic hold. And in the process, the mantra, which is based on this and the mantra breaking down the dense patterning and blockages within your body that you put there. Because every thought starts up here with these 2 glands. Affects the brain in such a way that a hormonal secretion starts to go through your body. And that's why anger is the worst, because it causes aging. It really speeds up the aging. What does it call that?
Adrenaline.
Adrenaline. Oh, but you can feel it.
Wow, this feels good. I'm so angry. I hate everybody.
Yep, as soon as you do that, adrenaline. Your body is oxidizing at 1,000 times the rate of normal. Whatever, normal. That's why I put the word oxidizing. That's the word we work on. So, Mani Padme Hum. Just saying the mantra is an effect. Has an effect. Saying the mantra with the deity, 1,000,000 times more effect. Being the deity. Saying the mantra and thinking everybody else is doing it with you, infinite effect. And infinite is where we're at. That means you now have infinite potential to produce whatever is appropriate in an infinite number of ways. Oh, I'll buy that. Like Bitcoin, I'll buy that. So that's the free. That's Amitabha Buddha. That's the state of discerning awareness. This is your true nature. This is who we really are as humans. This is what the Dalai Lama teaches. This is what all my teachers, men and women. I've heard it 1,000 different ways. And what's nice about lamas is every lama, man or woman, has their own program. But it's all based on loving kindness, compassion, power, and insight. So no matter how the lama projects it, because they use different deities, they use different mantras, they might point it out this way. Oh, try this way of thinking, try this way of thinking. And after a while, try no thinking. Yeah, no thinking. No thought. We're going to do that right now. Here's how you do it. So this first phase of practice is called the creation phase, right? Now watch how simple it is to move to your natural mind. Think, visualize all the infinite beings that you just put in your mandala, in your mind, all stream into you from every direction. Like rain into a lake. And here you are, this central symbol, Chenrezig, forearm, Bodhisattva. In the sky of your mind, disappear that symbol into the 6 syllables of the mantra. Then starting with the Om, each symbol disappears one by one into the Shri. Then the Shri and the 5-colored sphere of light around it shrink either in stages or all at once into the particle in your heart center. And you rest in basic state. And the trick is, the practice is to be present. Gently take hold of your mind, keep it in the present moment, and don't let it take you to past or future events. And if they do, don't attach to them. You just remain soft. If physical sensations arise, same. Don't attach. Just let them arise and present themselves and disappear. Thoughts with their drama program arise, appear, and disappear. No meditation. This is called the accomplishment stage of Tantric Yoga. At the end of this period of practice, you reappear as the deity for post-meditational practice and learn to project it on beings that you have karma with, relationships with, in daily life. And the mantra is useful for dealing with sound, vibration. to equalize. Free. That's it. This must be a code. It is. But you're the head. Each and every one of us. We're the boss. Mind's the boss. We're the boss. Take control of your mind. Once you take control of your mind, there's a little effect of bliss. Starts to evolve. And the bliss comes from the altruistic motivation of loving kindness as the theme of everything. Okay? So this is unconditional. Now, if you bring unconditional love into your relationship, you got a working relationship. Okay? Abby and I, unconditional love. Does that mean we don't have ordinary love? Yeah. Because ordinary love is based on an exchange. You give me this, I'll give you that. Something in return. Okay? So we have two kinds of love. Unconditional and ordinary. The problem with the unconditional one is it's based on attachment. Unconditional love. Nothing back. Don't expect. You just love. And that's it. Then when it comes to compassion, compassion is based on this idea of unconditional love, equally applied to everybody. That's called altruistic compassion. Relative compassion is concerned for their well-being. Can you change the way the world is today on this planet? In your mind, you can. I can take all that war and all that ignorance of politicians and all of it and change it inside, here and here. Out here, looks like this. Remember what I said? Out here is the rooster. Inside change. And when you do that, you're affecting outside. But you're affecting the outside of the mind of every sentient being on this planet. Because they're all interconnected to you. And you are manifesting them. It's kind of like a mirror. Everybody sees the image of the mirror as who they are. The image of the mirror can't be separate. That's a perfect symbol of mind. Everything outside is a reflection of the mirror appearing. You get me? Light goes into the mirror and comes back out. You're changing your mind like the energy of the mirror. If you're not standing in front of the mirror is empty. That's your natural mind. When you stand in front of it and think that's you, that's your ordinary mind. Take your breath. See? So the more and more that you get you get to understand that your mind is an empty mirror, and then everything, energy coming into it, either through your body or through your thinking, is reflected out here, and more you become heartfelt, other, principle. Yeah? Even to your dog.
It's all about perception.
Any questions? Now, all of the practices are done basically the same way as this. Except when we start doing protector practices, we throw a lot of stuff for the spirit into the practice. The spirits are very important in here. You want them on your side because they don't like us humans. And what's going on this planet today is riled the spirit world. All that ecological disaster, all of that turmoil, earthquakes, fires, weather, hurricanes, they got a hand in that. Okay? So we put that stupid there for many reasons, but one of the reasons is to keep the hurricanes out. That's very practical. That's what the law of us told them. Build it stupid is to generate what it does to the spirit. It's time for dedication. Okay. 2 hours, huh? This is an ordinary practice time, by the way. In retreat, we do 2.5 hour sessions. Goes fast. Time is illusory. Down at the bottom of this page is what is called a dedication prayer. Normally, when you finish your practice, like you do the 5 elements, dedicate what you did for yourself with that practice to all beings, that they may be as fortunate as you. Yeah? That's a basic dedication. This one's a little more wordy. It says, by this virtue of having realized Mahamudra, which is the nature of mind, may I quickly establish all beings without a single exception in that state. For the blessing of the Buddhas who attained the 3 bodies, for the blessing of the unchanging truth of this Dharma, and to the blessing of the unwavering aspirations of us, the Sangha, may this dedication prayer be fulfilled. And on the left side, we're going to transcript and say, Kewadi Nerdu Dom, Shabyan Chambo Jujurne, Joa Chin Chin Malu Pa, Te Sama Gopar Sho, Sanjay Kusum Nempai Jum Dom, Kodi Mezu Nempai Jum Dom, Kendu Nietzsche Nempai Jum Dom, True means active. Dedication. Start with taking refuge and give it all away. Share it. Every sentient being, whatever you're doing. You offer water, incense, food for the spirits. It's for all the spirits. You feed an animal, give an animal food to an animal, really good karma. Take somebody out to dinner, good karma. Thank you all very much, Suchi Che, Zoomlanders, Vajra brothers and sisters. Thank you for us being here to show this to you every Thursday night.
Thank you.
Aloha.
Aloha.